All right, good evening at 6 PM. All right, let me start again. Excuse me. Good evening at 6 PM, May 24th, 2023. I'd like to open the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for this evening. I'd like to announce that this is being televised live on local channel 18. If we could all rise, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next, does anybody have a public comment regarding anything not related to any agenda items tonight? If so, you can check in with Mary Ann, and you'll have 3 minutes to make a comment. Okay? I'm going to ask for public comment on each hearing tonight at the end of that presentation. Okay, George Ganzenmuller, Bob Caggiano, and Brad Pitsley are absent tonight. So sitting on our first hearing will be our 4 regular board members as well as Sharon. Sharon, would you read the first continued hearing?
38 Fells Pond Road. Owners Michael E. Gould and Joe Robin Gould request a written finding under 174-17 of the zoning bylaws to allow for an addition, extension of a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling on property located in an R3 zoning district, map 116, parcel 22, Mashpee, Mass. Continued from April 26, 2023 hearing at the request of the applicant.
Okay. Come right up.
Thank you. My name's Rob Sykes, land surveyor.
Yep.
I live in Sandwich.
Just passing out these papers first. Is this one set here? Send it to.
I got some down. Usually don't have enough.
Yeah, we got plenty of
No,
them.
we're
Why don't you
good.
guys share?
Good,
Sharing.
I am,
In case you have any friends that show up.
wait a minute. This we have done.
This is all one package?
I don't know if it's a complete package.
Yep, yep,
No,
yep.
you handed it off parts.
Well, that's what I thought.
That was one
Yeah.
package. These are different. These are different.
Well, you may have the rules.
Yeah, I have the rooms.
Ron, do you have this one?
I do not have that one. Thank you, sir.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Well, to those of you who weren't here at our last meeting, I brought in and we presented a plan that showed excess of lot coverage, hoping for a variance. And of course, that was denied. And so made some adjustments to the plan, reduced the size of the proposed addition, and corrected an error I had in the garage size that I made on the garage size. So now we're bringing in a plan that conforms, I believe, and I'm here to address any questions might have. There are some issues here that might be of interest. We're also in contact with Drew McManus regarding the conservation issues that are not shown on this plan. The small part of the addition is within the 100-foot setback from the small creek behind. Most of the dwellings in it, it's all entirely in the flood zone. So it's Drew has, in his preliminary look at this, stated that they just give a pass on it, and I have a meeting with him out there on Friday to discuss the boundary marker situation, or actually to set the boundary markers. So that seems to be the sticky wicket at this time. However, we'd like to suggest to the board that we are now presenting a plan that conforms with the bylaw as far as zoning goes. And I'm here to answer any questions.
Is this, everything, the whole lot, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the flood zone, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
it's 100% lot coverage.
Yes, so when you, is the lot coverage, is the structure coverage in the old computation 25% of this lot, or 20?
Correct.
25?
Because 10,000 square feet.
Okay. So the language on your plan would have to be amended under a decision by a judge that was a couple of months ago. It should say something like the effect of the following: existing structure coverage 20.6, proposed structure coverage 24.4, but lot coverage would be 100%.
Correct.
Because we have been told by council, and we've been remanded by a judge that says you cannot utilize any area that's in the flood zone, which means
As part of your lot coverage.
it's part of your lot. So that being said, you do have a pre-existing non-conforming use. I see it, I get that. But I'm just saying to you that your language on this plan has to be depicted in a different way.
I see.
And he needs to say somewhere in this plan that the existing lot coverage, which has a definition in our bylaw, right? The zoning bylaw. Existing lot coverage, 100%, proposed lot coverage, 100%. Existing structure coverage would be whatever, and we're only using the structure coverage so we as a board, or I as one member, and I think the board agrees with this, so you can understand what you're doing as far as filling or how you're impacting the lot and how much property or how much structure you're adding to the
I
lot.
believe in a prior proposal, we had that.
You did. They did have that, David.
Yeah, because this,
But, yeah, it's
we
not on
can't,
this one.
Yeah.
we would
Okay.
be in a remand possibly again.
Yeah, it's got to say all that right on that plan.
I thought that was a moot point, however, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Easy enough to fix.
Pretty easy. It's just.
Can we get
Yeah, we can-
approval based on,
We can
We
move
can make a
past that,
ruling, I think.
and you can submit a plan depending on how the vote goes.
Yeah.
okay,
I mean, as one person, I think you've fulfilled your obligation as far as structure coverage being under 25%.
Yep. For two people.
So you've done what we've asked, what I, as one member, asked you to do in my mind.
uh-huh.
I'm only one member.
So Ron, I don't have a copy of that. How are we on setbacks from sidelines, height, et cetera?
So why, can I do?
Go for it.
So tell me, sir, as a surveyor or an engineer,
Is
can you
this the-
tell me what pre-existing nonconformities you have, and are you creating new nonconformities?
I see that.
Well, we are going to increase the lot coverage.
Yeah, but that's, so you've got, that's a pre-existing nonconformity, so you,
That's okay.
that the board could find that you have that right to do so. But so you've got a side yard setback right side of 11.54. What is side yard in that zone, David?
15.
It's got to be 15.
So it's existing at 11.54, am I correct?
Yes.
So you're not making that worse, you're not making it better.
No change over there.
Now, the rear is 8.68, am I correct? Rear
Yes.
setback. What is the, David, in that? I presume 25, rear setback in the zone?
I believe it to be 15.
And so you're not
Yeah.
reducing that, am I correct,
It's an
sir?
R3.
We're
Yeah,
not
they're
in-
I
we're not
don't-
increasing.
The answer, they are not creating any.
So you're not creating any new nonconformities?
No.
That's the answer now.
Okay. It looks like you're not extending or you're making any more, or you're not creating any more, not new, but you're not creating larger nonconformities either.
No.
Well, not if it's existing 100%.
Right. That's my point.
No, but he's
You
talking.
take lot coverage out of the conversation, setbacks, front yard setback, rear yard setback, et cetera, et cetera. There are no new non-conformities, nor are you making any non-conformities that exist worse.
That's correct.
That's what I thought.
Scott, you had something?
Yeah, I got a few things, not, well, kind of related to lot coverage. Your site plan shows two existing patios, stone patios.
Say that again, please.
Your site plan shows two existing stone patios.
Two existing,
Two existing stone patios.
yes.
Those are not counted in lot coverage if they're below. Are those included in the lot
Well,
coverage?
generally, a stone patio is
Landscape.
pervious to water. That's one of the things that makes a stone patio.
I'm not questioning what a stone patio is. I'm asking you if those are included in the lot coverage or not. Because they don't have to be if it's below, it doesn't need a railing, and it's
They're
landscape.
not, they're not included.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. I don't know if you guys all have this page A, I think it's 6, trying to read.
No idea.
I
It's
do not.
the foundation plan.
I do not.
A6, yes.
If you guys can look at that foundation plan, when I'm looking at existing conditions in your addition, does not match your site plan. And it shows 3 sonotubes in that area that says existing stone patio for future 10-inch concrete filled sonotubes, 48 inches below grade, optional deck above.
I can't speak to the architectural
Well,
plans.
That would create a whole, another structure that's gonna
No, I-
increase lot coverage 11 by,
Here's the addition he's putting on there.
but, I know. But I'm looking at the foundation plan
Yeah.
that was submitted, it's showing this structure.
Right.
That's an addition.
So, but you're not pointing to this at all?
I'm not putting it, the only thing I'm putting at this is the addition shows it comes a foot
Yeah.
forward of
Right.
the house plan.
Right? This
That's-
does not.
This drawing that Mr. Graven Architectural Design did does not match your site plan.
According to my information, there should not be sonotubes out for a deck out back.
Well, that's gonna have to be conditioned.
Right, but no problem, I'm certainly able to do that. My bigger concern is that you raise is the site.
But I'm
There's not
looking-
even the correct jogs in the building.
Your plan shows multiple jogs and an extension in the front. This plan doesn't show it. The plan showed a bulkhead in one location, your plan shows it in a different location. It's like I'm looking at 2 different plans. I don't know if you want to come up and look at what I'm looking at, but
Well, I will get a set of those plans. As far as I know, they've been recently revised, and I have
Oh.
not seen them.
what was submitted,
Look at that.
I know, but it shows this shaded
Yeah, I
area
know.
here. But look at these jogs, I don't see any of that on this plan, and just, this is what's submitted that we have to vote on.
See right there. And look at
There's
this,
some shaded area, I don't know what that is, it doesn't show a foundation. But see all these
and
jogs?
look at this. The bulkhead's there and the bulkhead's over there.
And then this shows a stone patio, and this shows sonotubes going in, like a deck addition, optional deck above. You can't vote on this plan as
think-
part of that.
Show it to,
I think
show it
we
to
need-
Sharon, too.
I already showed it to Sharon.
You know what's strange, though? Check this out.
It looks like 512, 23.
Check this out. That shows the jogs right. And that shows the
And
setback.
that shows this jog, so his foundation plan doesn't match his first floor plan.
Exactly.
And they have the same date.
Right.
you speak to this?
Because you look at the
How'd you
first
like to
floor
build
plan,
up-
it's almost like
How'd
he's
you like to build up those plans?
That's how you, not me, man.
I mean, they gotta fix the plan.
The foundation
This
is
is
correct. Yeah, but that's the first floor, the
But
foundation is what you
but
call.
this page is not correct. But this doesn't have dimensions.
Right.
There's no dimensions.
David, did you see
Are
this?
they cantilevered?
The foundation plan doesn't
Could
match
be,
at all.
I don't know. I don't have any
So
elevations.
look at this, Dave.
Because it could be cantilevered.
The jog here, compared to the jog there. And it shows jog back, not the jog forward, and it shows a bunch of jog.
This one,
That shows, this looks more correct.
This is,
See all these
yeah,
jogs?
but that's the
looks-
first floor.
But
This is the foundation.
plan, doesn't match this at all. And this is the part that really jumps out at me.
yeah, they can't
That whole
have
thing
that.
can't.
They can't have that.
So this is wrong.
Yeah,
This should be
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah.
That looks, this is correct.
yeah.
That's-
That should be
that's what I'm
back
saying.
there, and there
This
should be
doesn't
another
match-
jog right here.
This matches,
this is-
doesn't match the first floor, doesn't match the site plan. And
You
that's,
seen,
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to see
do you want
this?
to see what I'm talking about?
Well, I will glance at it.
Even this
I'm
plan.
not trying to be a hard guy about this, but they're 2 different plans.
No, we need to.
We get this whole
approve
structure
plans that are
being,
correct.
showing it like a deck, sonotubes. Once those sonotubes go in the ground, now it's a structure. This whole front here doesn't match your site plan at all, but it matches the first floor plan. If you look at the first floor plan, matches
I
your
have
site.
So
Yeah,
even
yeah,
the
the
first
first
floor
floor
plan though,
right
that
here.
David just pointed out, look at this.
Can we continue?
That doesn't match
What do we have?
this. Look at the distance, 4.7 feet.
Yeah, that-
They're not,
With the architects about this. Surprised
I'm
that
just,
they didn't revise those plans.
you just can't,
The deck has been removed, the second set of plans.
Just,
shows
excuse
a
me,
bedroom.
excuse me, for the record, what's your name and address?
Talking to the mic, talking to the mic.
Hi, Kevin Strick. Strick Construction. So this is the second set of drawings.
Kevin, you have to take the mic, I'm sorry.
Just take it with you.
we can sit, whatever you want to do.
So on this drawing, because there's only a two-bedroom structure there now, they're adding a bedroom above on a flat surface that's existing. So this cantilever deck that you might see there is what they've got. There is no deck going in with sonotubes.
But-
I don't know if you've got the same drawing that
Are
I'm
you
looking
saying-
at.
Are you saying that bedroom's being added to where it says stone patio? Because this, the
No,
drawings I
no,
have show
no,
through
no.
sonotubes.
No,
Do
I
you want,
don't,
do you want to come up and look at this plan?
I do. Thank you.
Because you'll see the discrepancy that I'm seeing. This is the foundation plan that was submitted. Here's the front of the house. That's a stone patio. This whole front whole front foundation plan does not match the first floor whatsoever, or the site plan. It's two different plans. Backwards. So if you look at,
Okay, here's the garage.
yep, here's the garage, here's the new front wall,
Right.
but look at this jog, and this, look at your foundation.
even this is wrong, look at this.
This shows this coming back,
4.8 feet, that's like a foot.
and that's like a foot.
Show the plot plan too, Ron.
Yeah.
That's the part that's been changed, they've reduced.
Well,
So
this says
this is
512,
closer to
this says
this.
512.
It's, so this is correct on this, but it's almost like you gotta take some of this and that to put to that. Not one of them are correct.
So the only part of the stone patio is there. Right, that's existing. The one in the back, there's a few stones out there, but there's no deck on it. So I don't
Well,
know, I
you
don't know what
can't-
sonotube you're looking at.
I'm looking at a plan that says sonotubes.
I think what we need are all plans that match up.
Cleaned up. I mean, it's hard to vote and approve these plans because they don't match.
We can't.
I think the plans have to match your site plan, right?
If
That's-
your plans
absolutely.
match this as one member, I'm fine.
And I think you certainly need to clear up your lot coverage language.
I think Dave would have
Okay.
picked up on this when you went to submit a permit anyway, that something ain't right here. Dave, you saw all the things I pointed out.
Just now,
Yeah, but I mean, you see what I'm talking about.
yes. Yes.
And if you look at the first floor layout, it doesn't match the foundation plan whatsoever.
When's the next meeting?
So this comes to here, correct?
I think
We're looking at-
this-
We're looking at the same thing, this is the addition.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep, 4.7,
And that's all-
4.7.
That's all, these two are existing.
Yeah, I think the foundation
So
plan,
this part
that has,
is incorrect.
that has to go away,
That is incorrect.
and this has to get all cleaned up.
How many sets of plans? are we-
This is incorrect. See that 1 foot jog? You're actually
Three
back a
full sets
foot.
of plans.
That's supposed to be back
Well,
here.
something's, because.
Something's wrong in here, you're right.
Something's wrong here, because this shows multiple jogs. I'm looking at one straight line across, and I don't know what this is. There's obviously, I don't know if it's a cantilever, like Sharon said, or,
That's okay.
well,
You clearly have some
Mr.
architectural
Mr.
issues.
Graven needs to clean this up. Because they don't match, and that has to go away.
We say June 14th?
I work.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I'll leave it at that.
Rob, let me suggest that we continue this to June 14th,
Just-
clean all this up.
As a board, we can't vote on plans
Yes,
that don't
please.
match.
So
They have to.
are you asking for an extension, sir, to June
The thing
14th?
is, the dates match.
Yes, please.
Continue.
No, the dates.
So you'd like a
that Jim
continuance
has.
until June
He's got
14th,
512, he's got
2023, am I
512.
Yes.
Okay.
You see where we're coming from.
Like I said, I don't even have to. I wasn't doing anything with it.
I mean, as far as the site plan looks, I think everything looks good there.
Yes.
It's the foundation plan
Except
is,
for the 0% lot.
oh, except for the,
Yeah, the lot coverage,
Yeah, the wording's got to be
Add that
corrected on
into
that, too.
So the lot coverage is what?
And if,
100%.
what we talked about earlier, percent lot coverage, 100, structure coverage, 24.5.
I'm just, as a builder, I'm looking at these plans.
get it. Thank you.
I get,
And if you've got questions,
So the present and proposed is 100, but the structure coverage is whatever it is to 24 point, whatever it is.
we
I believe I
had,
had,
we had
I believe I had that
discrepancies.
data
last
on
year.
there.
Yeah, just change the
last
language
one,
from
and now
lot
it's
coverage to
omitted.
structure coverage on both of those, and then put lot coverage as
The foundation plan and the
100%
site plan didn't match.
existing and 100% proposed, and you'll be all set as far as the site plan.
Right there.
That's simple
Rod
enough.
was- He made everything correct on his end.
It seems that
Mr. Graven
the
doesn't have it
architectural
correct on
plans
his
are the
Scott, we're going to continue this.
Okay.
Ron, would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the applicants, and you're representing the applicants, sir, right?
correct.
What's your name again?
Rob Sykes.
Rob Sykes, applicant's engineer, land surveyor, Rob Sykes, request for an extent, or continuance until June 14, 2023.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Might need that.
All right, Bill seconds. Let's do a roll call
Nah,
vote.
better where it was.
Sharon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you very much.
See you in a couple of weeks. However long it is.
You.
Anything to sign?
It's your job.
That's what you're here
All
for.
right.
That's what we give you the big
Charlie, you're going to
bucks.
sit on this next hearing.
Oh, that was a good pickup.
I'm looking at some, two different sets of plans. Well, the first time he came through, his plan didn't match the site.
We're good.
I mean, the site
They're
plan
the same
didn't match.
date, the same date, too.
So he cleaned up his thing, but they,
There's so much work to do.
I think it works really good. You're looking at plans and I'm looking at site plan. I can't.
yeah, you were just talking about site, I'm looking
Yeah,
at,
I think that works out pretty good.
Yeah?
All right,
Are you saying
Charlie,
it's
you're going
on
to sit on the next hearing. Sharon, would you read the next continued hearing, please?
90 Pompanesett Island Road. Owners Brendan P. Giblin request a special permit under 174-17.1 and 174-33 of the zoning bylaws to raise and replace a pre-existing non-conforming structure and replace it with a new single-family residential structure with an associated pool, detached garage with guest suite above on the property located in an R3 zoning district, map 106, parcel 34, Mashpee, Mass, continued from April 12, 2023, hearing at the request of the attorney.
Good
Morning.
evening, everybody. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Attorney Christopher Corain representing the applicant at 90 Pompanesett Island Road. I have submitted a request for a continuance to July 26. As I intimated to the board at the last hearing, the denial by the Conservation Commission is under appeal. That appeal is with DEP, so obviously this board cannot act on this application until that appeal runs its course. And as part of that, I know there was some concern of the board about whether or not the time for making a decision was going to expire. As part of my request, I have requested the board extend that to August 23rd. So I am knowingly, waivingly that requirement to make a decision within the 100 days.
Mary Ann, is that okay?
Why do you think that you're going to get an answer that quick?
I don't.
So why don't we withdraw?
Why don't you withdraw?
Well, because I don't want to withdraw, because at this point in time, I may have a better answer on July 26th of what's happening, and it may be the same project. So I'm not comfortable withdrawing at this point in time. That's why I've given myself about 60 days. At that point in time, I say I would at least request the board at that point, if they feel that there's not enough information at that time, then we would put in a withdrawal in. But I'd like to have this one continuance to the 26th. I'm not handling the DEP appeal, so I can't tell you what the time frame is, but I'm hoping to have more information by then.
If they waive their right, can we continue?
It's just, so it just
David,
becomes
do you
hard
know?
for her to keep up with, because I certainly don't, I don't think we want to be in a position, we don't want to have an approval by us not following the guidelines either.
Exactly.
And that means she just has to keep up with it. It's a pain in the butt.
Well, as I said, I've requested specific dates. So I've requested August 23rd to make that decision, okay? So if I come back before this board on July 26th and you're not satisfied that we've got far enough along, then at that point in time,
Well,
I
my
think
attitude is as follows. Is August 23rd, you said?
is what I've requested as
So
the decision
August, if
date.
it's August 23rd and you don't either have the ability to go forward and be heard,
Yep.
then it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's either gonna be a vote for me. I don't have the right to say that because you do, but I don't. But it's either gonna be maybe a vote like this, or it's gonna be, withdrawal.
Right. I have no
That
problem
makes-
with, I have no problem with that.
Well, he's talking, he might withdraw in July if it doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying there's a deadline here that, because it's not, I don't think it's fair to her.
I understand. But, unfortunately, that these things under appeal were, beholden.
I get it, and another question, I don't understand why under the local bylaw, they're not appealing to the courts.
So again, I am not the attorney who's handling the appeal, but my understanding that there is a suggestion that the local bylaw decision was not issued in time, so there was no reason to appeal it.
Oh, because if they have to appeal a local bylaw, it has to be the courts, it can't be the DEP.
That is correct. But my understanding is there may have been a date that was missed
Well,
for filing, but that's neither really,
That's not us.
Right.
So,
If the applicant is willing to waive his right, I have no problem with letting him continue.
well, again, I don't have a problem because a date certain, but I got, as one member, at that date certain, it's either gonna be and I can't force a vote, that's up to Jonathan as the chairman, but as far as I'm concerned, it's either gonna be a withdrawal without prejudice or a vote and then maybe thumbs down.
right.
Charlie's been through this a lot.
No.
Charlie, what do you,
No, my view is that if Chris and your client recognize that August 23rd is the date that there's going to be a hearing, or it's been withdrawn before that.
Right.
That gives a cutoff date.
Right, it does.
And gives you notice and what we intend to have.
Unless the board were to extend it, which I'm not asking for tonight, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I know at some
I'm
point
okay
the
with
board
that.
says enough's enough,
Well,
but.
I think it's important for me to give you that
Yeah.
guidance, that for
Right.
me, enough is that date,
Okay, understood.
Sharon, what do you think?
August 23rd.
What do you think, Chair?
Yeah, if he's going to withdraw at the, I'm in agreement.
The request is not unusual. I mean, I've done this with the planning board on recent projects that I brought before in town, so they're,
But this is a whole different animal. You're talking about going in front of the DEP.
Right.
The Mass Environmental Policy Act is the reason why.
no, I understand.
I think the reality of the whole thing
This
is,
stuff moves slow.
No,
he's gonna be withdrawing in August, whatever, in my
that
opinion.
may be the case.
That's a guess.
That's maybe the case.
But there's
No, wait a minute.
no harm, no foul in letting
Wait a
them
minute,
extend.
wait a minute. I thought we were talking about July here.
Oh, no, he said
Well,
August.
So this is why, the way I've requested. I've requested a continuance to the hearing on July 26th. Say by some miracle, I have an answer from DEP, and you vote to approve it that night, you don't necessarily issue the decision, so I've built in a buffer for you to issue a decision.
He's giving us an additional period of time.
Right.
So we can make a decision in July, and if we don't make a decision in July, we don't lose by default.
Correct,
Yeah.
We don't
exactly.
issue by default.
Right.
So in July, if you don't have a decision by DEP, you'll ask for another extension till August, whatever that date.
Maybe
No,
the
no,
next.
I
I'm
think
not
he's
gonna
going
go
to
with that.
continue. I think he.
I would not vote with that.
I would probably, based on what I've heard tonight, probably just request the withdrawal at that point in time, but I'm, got my fingers crossed that may.
I'm not going to do August. I don't think that's fair to Mary Ann.
I agree.
Well, as I say, I'm asking for a continuance to July 26th, okay? But your decision, your 100 days is expiring soon, so I need to request an extension of that, so there is no constructive approval of this project, which I know the
Correct.
board does not want to do. So I've given the board until August 23rd to issue its decision. But if I withdraw in July, it's not going to make a difference.
So I think in my motion, we want to spell that out, that the applicant hereby has given us the authority to extend statutorily until August 23rd, but we are hereby extending this decision-making till July, whatever.
The hearing till July 26th.
The hearing till July, yes.
That is correct. Right. That is
Does that
correct.
make sense, Shelley?
That makes sense,
You're the-
yes, yes.
Because he's given him
Yeah, I
wiggle
will,
room.
I will not extend it
What if he
beyond July.
continued it?
I think the way he's put it, I think I can make the motion that will do what you
Because-
want.
Yeah, because July's dropped dead for me.
Yeah. I think I can do a motion that will satisfy.
I'm satisfied.
Are you happy with that?
No, you had,
Well, I tried to, as I said, I've tried to make it easier by giving a drop dead date instead of saying like, now I'm extending for another 120 days, and then you have to start to calculate those timeframes, so.
Let me ask you a question. Assuming you don't have any more information on July 26th than you have now.
Given what I've heard from the board, I'd probably just ask for a withdrawal at that point in time.
Well, okay. You understand that, we understand that.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is 2 months away.
Right.
so,
David, any comment on this?
I don't think the request is unreasonable, but I'm not a voting member, so it's up to the board.
All right, Charlie, you're on this, Sharon, you're off. Ron, why don't you make a motion, we'll vote.
Okay. All right, so, help me out with this, Counselor.
So what I am requesting a motion of this board is to continue the hearing to its July 26th meeting, and also at the applicant's request, requesting this board extend the statutory time for issuing a decision to August 23rd.
So I'd like to make a motion that this board accept the applicant's request of the extension of the statutory period in reference to the 100 days.
Correct.
Until August
23rd.
23rd, 2023. Also that motion, the applicant also requests that we extend the public hearing comment period and the closing of the public hearing up and until July 26th, 2023.
That's what I understood, yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Did I do that right, Charlie?
Yeah, I think you did. The only question in my mind is, what if July 26th comes and the information is, well, we're going to have something from the DEP soon, so I want to move it again. I want some finality as of July 26th.
So do I.
Well, what we could do then, correct me if I'm wrong, I understand what he says, we could just extend accept the applicant's extension till July 26th and call it a day. And it's up to us on the July 26th to either,
a ruling or a withdrawal.
right,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
that makes
I'm not
sense?
happy with anything in August.
So you're hearing it, Counselor. So I'm going to amend my motion to say the following. I hereby accept the applicant's request.
Right, but I think I think you need to keep the August deadline, because you're not going to necessarily, I don't know if it's the paper issuance of the decision or just the vote that is the 100 days. I think you got to give yourself some buffer on that
Well,
decision
I
making.
don't think so, and I'll tell you why. August 26th, this board's going to make a decision. It's either going to vote to approve or disapprove, or you're going to ask for an extension. July.
July, right.
July 23rd, whatever that date is in July, a couple things are going to happen. We're either going to vote to up or down, or you're going to ask for an extension, and we're going to either issue or not, we're probably not, or you're going to ask for withdrawal without prejudice.
And I think
That's it.
it's the date of the vote. It's
Right,
the
that's all,
decision.
that was
Yeah.
all I was trying to
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
be careful about.
Yeah, no, I think, so so we have to have that meeting on July 23rd, because if we don't, he gets the approval. I think that's what he's getting at, right?
Well, that's what would happen if you don't,
If we don't have a meeting, we have a hurricane, July 23rd, and that gentleman right there, we don't show up and have a vote, he automatically gets that approval. That's why he was giving us the
26th.
additional
Not
time.
him.
That's why I was giving you the buffer. I was
I
trying to
get
help
it,
the
I get
board.
it, I get it.
We
But
don't
you can
have
see
the
how
buffer.
members
We
feel,
can't continue it. We have
Sure.
to make
I get it.
Right.
We do.
You see, we have to have that meeting on July
We have-
23rd.
And if it doesn't happen, it gets
Yeah.
continued because we made the motion here.
It's 26th, July
If
26th.
July 26th, this board doesn't meet and make a decision, he gets the approval because we didn't vote.
Because we didn't vote to give him till August.
Exactly. That's why he's building in the August date.
Yeah.
But you are right. I concur 1,000,000%. On the July 26th, he could not even come here, and we're like, okay, but we've already extended till August, whatever, so we can't nix it now.
No, you could. You could.
How could I? We're
Because
gonna-
August
now-
23rd is simply to issue the decision. It's not to have any further, I'm not asking for any further public comment period
So
beyond.
let's say July 26th comes and you don't show up to the meeting, all
Right.
right?
Yep.
And we sit here and say, all right, what are we gonna do? Because frankly, you have until August whatever, because we've extended.
No,
the-
we've only
We've got a
extended the
public
time to
hearing scheduled for the
statutorily make a
23rd.
decision.
We have until August. He
You
doesn't.
have, I don't have until
Yes.
August.
Yeah, we could simply vote
You could.
Vote on the
Yeah.
23rd.
You could.
Of July.
26th.
26th of July.
Correct.
And
Missing all,
by the same token, if you have information before July 26th that gives you the thought that maybe I can.
I would
get
have it
in-
by the August 12th meeting, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It would seem to me, as one member, it would make it very clean to just go July 26th, and make darn certain on July 13th, if that's when the meeting date is, that we're gonna have a meeting on the 26th. Because there's no gray area in August, there's not even a discussion of an August date.
Well, you know how I feel.
let's just continue to the 26th of July and forget about the August deal.
Well, you have to extend it, because I think that 100 days is extended.
Well, we're gonna do both.
Right.
So we're gonna accept your request for an extension until July 26th
Yeah.
on both on the public hearing and, the statutory time limit.
Okay.
Does
Understood.
that make sense?
I'm good with that.
There you go.
So the cutoff date is July 26th. That's
But
it.
I'm going to be devil's advocate. We have a hurricane.
We got a problem, but we have a problem with a lot of applications, because what if you have a hurricane and we miss 2 meetings, and we have the same issue?
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Scott seconds. Charlie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
So did you get that motion then, Marianne? It was the last one I made, right? I amended it so many times, so.
She's got it on tape.
Glad you're here today.
going on.
I still don't understand that comment in reference to the appeal, but that's, no.
What do you mean?
Well, in reference to, bringing it to the courts, in reference to the bylaw.
Yeah,
So
you
under
did
the Wetlands Protection Act, a Conservation Commission has to issue a written decision, I think, within 20 days of their vote. And my understanding is that the commission may not have issued the written decision within that time frame. So if that's the case, what happens is whatever DEP decides overrides everything.
I don't see it in the law like that.
Well, I can give you the court case that will tell you exactly that.
Send it to me.
I will.
Because I'd really like to see that one.
It's not a constructive approval, but if DEP issues a...
So they merged them then, basically?
Basically. And if DEP issues a superseding order of conditions, that controls.
I don't see how they merge them.
Well,
I'd love to see that case.
I know the case, so I can send it to you.
Send it to me. Love to see it. That changes my whole theory on town bylaws. Really?
Right. But that's a conservation, that case is conservation only. I don't know that that applies to, zoning or planning. That case is specific to
But how would it be
conservation.
conservation only? A bylaw is a town bylaw is a town bylaw. There are
also-
other town bylaws.
Right, but it's the days to issue decision is under the Wetlands Protection Act. So it requires a conservation to act within so many days. That's under the statute. So it's
Yeah.
not under 48, Section 6, it's under
Right.
131, Section 40.
But we've covered,
You're covered on
Oh,
your...
yeah, no, we're fine.
You're
It's just,
fine.
I don't understand.
But I'll send you the case.
I'd love to see it. I like case law.
This is for our side.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Sharon, you're back on the next one.
Okay.
Charlie, you get to sit out.
Oh, Charlie.
I'm happy.
We're good? We can go? Sharon, would you read the first new hearing?
21 Frog Pond Close and 352 Mashpee Neck Road. Owner Timothy W. Leadham, trustee of the Shoestring Bay Nominee Trust, requests to modify the existing special permit of the marina use and expand to include the adjacent property located at 352 Mashpee Neck Road. Original special permit SP 83-3008 SP 00167, SP 0259, and SP 2020-6 under 174-24C9B, 174-25E, and 174-17 of the zoning bylaws on property located in R3 zoning district, map 90, parcel 83, map 90, parcel 97, Mashpee, Mass.
Good evening again, members of the board, Mr. Chairman, Attorney Christopher Corain representing the applicant. I've submitted a letter requesting a continuance to your June 14th meeting. I've had a couple meetings with both David and town planner. Their recommendation was to have us meet with the department heads at site plan review. We're doing that on June 6th. So we're going to go through that process, get any feedback from them, recommendations, referrals to this board. So in that light, I don't know that it really makes sense to open tonight, and we've asked for the continuance to the 14th.
Have you seen correspondence from town council and Evan?
I have talked to Evan. I have not seen the actual correspondence from
Well,
town
it's part of the
council.
records, because it's.
Yeah, I have not seen that. I saw Evan's memo.
You might want to take a look at that. There's some
Well,
issues.
continue, we don't need to read it. I don't think we
No,
need to put that
but you
in the
just,
record.
you don't have to read it now, but you should somewhere read that.
Yeah, I've seen it. There's nothing in there that I think is going to be problematic ultimately.
So you're asking for an extension until when?
June 14th, I think that's the next hearing.
It's all right to be on that meeting, and then?
Okay, wait a minute. Let's see what this says. According to this letter you sent us, June 6th.
Is site plan review.
Oh, yep, okay. Okay, there's a number of people here I'm sure want to speak on this, but, and we also have a letter from a Mr. and Mrs. Hennessy of Buccaneer Way. But we're going to read and listen to all of that at the next hearing.
Because we're really not over.
Because this has got a long way to go.
Done.
Yeah, I mean, plan review's got to go through this.
Which they are, yeah. And that's why we're going before them on the 6th.
Yeah, you honestly shouldn't have been here. but
Well, there's
It
no
is what
real,
it is.
I don't want to get into it. There's no real mechanism for this type of project to go to plan review. So it's really at the leisure of the, but we're going. So that's what it is.
Okay. Sharon, would you read the letter?
Okay. The letter, it doesn't have a date. It's from,
Sure it does, May 23rd.
From Chris Crane letter.
oh, that's Chris
Chris Corain.
Corain letter. I thought I was reading the other letter.
No.
No, the Chris Corain letter.
Okay,
We're going to read all that in on the next,
okay, that's,
when we really kick this off.
all right. This one's dated May 23rd. Dear Chairman Furbish, as you know, we represent the owner of the properties referenced above, 352 Mashpee Neck Road and 21 Frog Pond Close. It is hereby requested that Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, hearing be continued to June 14th, 2023. As reason for this request, the applicant is scheduled to appear before the Site Plan Committee on June 6, 2023. Thank you for your attention. Very truly yours, Christopher J. Corain.
Okay, Sharon, you're on this one. Ron, would you make a motion?
Sure. Could I just have a comment before we
Sure.
get to that, if we could? And this was something I brought up the last time we had an issue with the plan review. The plan review is scheduled to review this on June 6th?
Correct.
Okay. And what I had suggested is beneficial for us in understanding what they do and what they recommend, is that once they make their decision or recommendation, that we feel it's your obligation to indicate to us what, if anything, has been done to correspond to it.
Right. Yeah, I think the way we handled that last project was after site plan gives its recommendations, we'll check the boxes with each of the department heads to make sure that we've addressed any changes to plans that have been requested or any other issues that need to be addressed.
Good pluck, Charlie.
Yep.
You are correct, so
Yep.
just to,
Yeah.
so if the DPW says blah, blah, then you need to say, you need to get a letter back from DPW saying you've satisfied that issue and a checkbox is in writing.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Before our meeting.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yes.
Loving it.
Understood, yes.
Fine, thank you.
Good job, Charlie.
Exactly. Great job.
All right. Ron?
Like to make a motion that we accept Chris Corain's request as outlined in his May 23, 2023 request for a continuance of the public hearing until June 14th, 2023. Said continuance is in reference to 352 Mashpee Neck Road and 21 Frog Pond Close.
I'll second.
Okay, Scott seconds. Sharon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay.
Okay.
This is going, all these comments are right in this little, I'm keeping this. All this work is right here. Oh,
Last one.
does she have to sign this? Yes. Probably should have. Today's, I'm sorry, 14, is it? 24.
24.
23.
Let me just sign this one.
This was A. That's right. All right. Sharon, would you read the first other business?
81 Bluff Avenue. Board to determine if an architectural design change is considered a major or minor modification pursuant to 174-24C9A of the zoning bylaws.
Good evening again, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Attorney Christopher Corain representing the applicants for 81 Bluff Avenue. As the board may recall, they approved, this was a raise and replace that was approved by this board. On the night of the hearing, we submitted unfortunately, an incomplete set of elevation and architectural plans. So it had come to my attention probably about the Friday before the hearing that the elevation, the height was incorrect. The structure was too high. So I had the applicant revise those plans to lower the house and provide new plans. Unfortunately, the plan that you received only had one elevation. So it showed the correct height of the house, but it did not show a widow's walk. Widow's walk was part of the original plans, and unfortunately, the set that you received, or the one plan that you get, it was an incomplete set of plans. It didn't show the widow's walk. So I'm here tonight, based on your instructions, your decision that says that any changes to the plan have to come back. I'm here basically asking for a quote-unquote administrative approval of the widow's walk based on the bylaw, because minor changes that include architectural details require your approval, but do not require a formal filing notice to abutters. So that is why I'm here. I'm not changing, the footprint of the house is not changing, lot coverage is not changing, setbacks are not changing. Again, it's the widow's walk. We're just making sure that it's part of the approved set of plans.
I, as one member, read in depth the bylaw that Chris has referred to, and in my opinion, he has complied with all the regulations of that particular bylaw to come back for a hearing in front of us with just a public hearing, but no notification to abutters or anything like that. That's what the bylaw says. I read it really carefully. David, do you have any comments on this?
Do you agree with that?
As far as the widow's walk, yeah, to me, it conforms to,
Is it a
I
minor
see they made it
change?
smaller.
Do you think it's a minor change? Because that's the key
I
question.
do, I do. I mean, there was a disagreement whether this was a widow's walk or a roof deck.
Okay.
And I don't agree for it to be a roof deck. I do agree that it's a widow's walk because it goes into the half-story higher. So it does conform to what a widow's walk is.
Isn't there something in the bylaw about the maximum size? for
Yeah,
a widow's
100
walk?
100 square feet, and it's
And they, if you look at the last page, they
Yeah.
showed where they made that conform.
If you're comfortable with the
I'm very
conformity, then-
comfortable with it. There's one unfortunate thing here is,
The elevation looks like it's wider than it does on this, the last page plan. If you look at the elevation, it looks wider on that plan. I mean,
So what are the actual dimensions of the widow walk?
Yeah, so if you look on the last page,
it's 15 by 6
yeah,
foot. 3.
15 by 6'3", so it's 95 square feet.
95.
So
Right there.
that's,
look at
Got
that,
it.
look at the
that's very
elevation.
good to me. I mean, that's not a problem. The unfortunate thing I'm looking at,
Chimney to chimney. And it's actually, it states it, so,
Okay. Well, just me, I would condition it to that size.
yeah.
If you condition to that size, then I'm good with it.
Well, if we approve this plan, it's
Yeah.
conditioned to
So it's
that.
clear that on the plan, on the last page, it's 15 by,
Yeah.
6'3",
is it?
15
I mean,
by
just-
6'3".
It's just to my
6'3",
naked eye, that doesn't look like
Yeah.
15, so that was
Yeah.
wider than that.
Yeah, this,
But as long as, so can
all
we,
we're
can,
doing is determining if
they
this is
they
a
did
minor
shrink
or a
it
major.
down
We're not
and
voting.
and made it conform.
so if we determine it's minor, what's the next step?
Nothing.
Goes to David.
Okay.
Okay,
It's basically like an administrative approval.
Okay,
So
so you don't have to do a motion?
No,
Oh, okay.
all we're gonna do is vote.
All right, as long as
you
David.
could vote, I mean,
Good call.
I mean, technically,
You're the boss.
it's an approval,
Yeah.
you know, because as I say, you know, it does require us to come back
If
to
it was
you.
being voted, I would condition it on that size.
Yes.
I just want to point out one minor thing that's unfortunate, because I just noticed it tonight at this meeting, is that the roof deck on the first floor roof deck has been enlarged, according to this plan.
The first floor roof deck, over that pergola, that little thing?
That over
Oh,
that
it says
pergola.
15, 12.
So,
Look at that right there.
No, that's the.
What are we talking about?
This is the, look on the bigger plan. This was the prior roof plan, this is the
Oh,
new roof plan. He's talking about, no, look at this right here. See this deck here?
Yeah.
That got bigger.
so as long as that conforms to lot coverage in the as-built, I'm good with that.
But that's not the plan we approved. That roof deck wasn't on the plan we approved, so that's a change.
So how are you gonna
It
react?
was on the plan, but it's smaller. It shows the old plan, and you can look.
So if we
right-
say it's a minor
bigger.
modification, David, how are you gonna deal with that when they come to you for a permit with that size? So in other words, let's say this board says it's a minor modification, it's your ball game. It's up to you, David. How are you gonna
I think
manage
they're
that?
both minor modifications,
Okay.
But we're voting on the
it's
roof
just-
deck, but
Yeah.
Dave pointed out that this new plan shows a larger first floor roof deck.
We're not introducing the new plan, I don't think. I think we're just saying
Well-
it's a minor modification.
No,
Well,
so the
okay.
plan
Chris, is
that we
that correct?
approved
Is
has
it
a
a
smaller
larger-
deck.
I guess that's on you, Dave, when they
he
submit the
hasn't asked to
plan.
change that.
If that deck got bigger, they'll have to come back to us.
Again,
If it exceeds.
If that isn't the plan we originally approved, they'll have to come back to
you
us.
see that, Counselor?
I see it now. It wasn't something that I had picked.
Yeah, I wouldn't, that's a
wasn't
good
So
coming
catch.
you've
before.
asked us for a modification, whether major or minor. We find minor in reference to your
Widow's
roof
walk.
deck.
Only.
It has nothing to do with the other one, and if you go to the zoning, to the building inspector and ask for permit, you could be in a catch-22 again.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even see.
You might wanna bring a plan that shows a smaller, the plan that.
Back to the
current
original
plan?
size.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not, I can't make David's decision,
That
that's all on him,
that was a
but
great catch,
he
Dave.
brought it up.
That was a good catch.
I bet he's gonna bring it up again.
I'm kind of mad at myself for not catching it.
I imagine he's gonna bring it up again if he brought it up now.
Yeah.
The original plan, yeah. Mr. Plan.
And the lot coverage,
This is the original plan?
Yeah,
If it's built under the original plan, you don't have to come back.
Right.
If it isn't, you got to come back.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the case. I'll have
the
to,
original plan, oh.
I said, I was focused on the widow's walk, not the,
same here, and I just realized.
I think David will make you come back.
Yeah.
so I'll make sure if they want to get through this process nice and quickly, they'll go back to the original size.
Exactly.
Got it. I think someone may raise it if you bring it to David.
Yeah, it definitely shows,
Otherwise,
it
they
definitely
picked it
shows
up.
the smaller,
Back in front of us. What was the choice?
definitely shows the smaller one in the original.
Yep. It's the smaller one, the original plan.
Right. I'll make sure that that's
Great catch,
reflected.
Okay.
So I'm looking on page, I'm looking on
Hey,
page
you gotta
22.
raise the bar.
9A, minor changes in the site plan of the permitted projects such as landscaping, signage, shape, location of buildings, architectural detail, lot lines, or roadway facilities may be approved by the special permit granting authority under the terms of the zoning bylaw as it applied to the grant of the original special permit, provided that said changes do not violate the terms of said zoning bylaw. The terms or conditions of the original special permit decision or the provisions of subsection 2 above, and that they do not require approval under the process described in B or C. B talks about percent change, what, 5%?
And the lane, yeah.
C talks about any proposed change in the text of the special permit decision, except reference to the dated site plan.
Right.
So let's see, B says, any proposed change in the site plan of a project which, in combination with previous modifications, if any, increases the square footage of the residential or non-residential structures by more than 5%, increases the land area occupied by any use more than the 5%. It gets very wordy.
Right. I mean, this is within the.
Excuse me, Chris.
Yeah, we're not,
Chris addressed
I'm just
B
reading
and
right
C
for the record.
in his letter to us.
Yeah,
When
we're
he
not-
described what he's asking for.
we're not expanding the footprint. I mean, the widow's walk sits on top of the house or so.
Okay, so we don't need to vote? We just,
It's up to
we
you,
have
I
to-
guess.
Well, we probably do need to vote.
Yeah.
Do we vote as a minor modification?
So the request is, you want to make the motion that we accept this as a minor modification?
We accept the addition of a
Widow's
walk in the size of, is a
90
minor modification. So, I'd like to make a motion that we accept, I just did away with it. I thought I was done. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we accept Chris Corain's request for a minor modification at 81 Bluff Avenue. Said minor modification is the following, and that is the inclusion of a widow's walk in the,
Exact size.
exact size of,
It's-
well, no, the exact, I don't want to say exact. In
less
this-
than 100 feet.
In less than 100 feet, and it's depicted on the plan as, what is it?
15 by 6'3".
15 by 6'3".
Second.
I'm sorry?
Second.
Sharon seconds. Let's just do a hands vote.
Yeah,
All
just
in-
you.
Oh,
All
I
in
can't,
favor?
I can't second.
Aye.
Oh, she can't, can she second if she wasn't voting on this?
You can all vote.
Oh, okay.
You know what it is? All it is just, it's not really a hearing.
It's
It's a
administrative.
discussion.
Okay.
So all in favor?
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Sidebar,